This is Love and Sparkles. And I had a request. Someone wanted to know what herbal resources I had that I've been using. So, along with my course, which is herbalacademy.com, and I'm doing an intermediate course, my first book is, let me just put this so I can just put it up in my face and you can see it. I'm pretty sure this will be my face. My first book is this one. And it's a field guide to herbs and spices that how to identify, select, and use virtually every herb and spice that you can come across. This I received from Amazon, so it is from Amazon. Just kind of look up the title. And it kind of has recipes, and it shows different pictures of your herbs so you can go out and use it as a field guide. So it's very resourceful. The author is, let's see if I can find an author. Dun, dun, dun. Well, it just says from Quirk Books. And it was printed in Singapore. That's kind of interesting. But here is all this book here. And that's the one I got today as a gift from Sandy. And this one, when I was a nurse, I did not know this book existed. And I have most of these books at one point or another. But it's the nursing guide to herbal things. Herbal medicine. And it has all the different herbs in it, and it looks at them from a medical standpoint of what your adverse reactions are going to be, the action and components, dosage, administration, adverse reactions, interactions. I mean, just like a medicine book. I remember having the medicine book for this. I got this one off of Amazon. It's the Nurse's Guide to Herbal Medicine. So that is a very informative book. I did not even know that this was a book back in the day. So found it on Amazon. This one I've had forever and ever and ever. And it is The Healing Herbs, the Ultimate Guide to Curative Powers of Nature's Medicine. And it has remedies for over 200 conditions and diseases. And then it doesn't have colored pictures, but it has pictures of what the different ones look like. And you always sit there and look at a lot of resources before you start formulating. And this one actually goes into the special blessings of it, the history of it, like into the 17th century of the marshmallow root. I mean, it's very interesting. It was like during the famine, it was used for food. I mean, it's a very, very informative book. And the author of it is Michael Castleman. So if you're looking for it. And I bought that one probably off Amazon years ago. And then this one is The Teas for Life. And I bought it as a used book on Amazon, but it came from Kent District Library. And it's a Diane Kidman book. And it basically goes into the different herbs and what you're going to get from them. So you just kind of look around. You have many sources. And then I start getting into the ones that were recommended through my course. Oh, my Lord. And this one is Rosemary Gladstar's Medicinal Herbs, a Beginner's Guide. Ooh. And it's got 124 of her favorite medicinal recipes. Creaky Bones Cayenne Rub, Warming Cinnamon Bath Salts, Ginger Lemonade, Brain Tonic, Gargle for a Sore Throat, a face mask, a heart tonic, a lemon balm bath, and peppermint tooth powder. Is some of the recipes in here. And she actually gives color photos of the plants. And then also it gives, you know, the recipes. And like this is what mullein looks like in the wild. So you have something, you know, to go with. Got one for bladder health. Lemon balm and what its uses are. Which right now I have 20 tinctures over there going. So, you know, lavender, what lavender would look like in the wild. Because like I said, that video I did earlier today, that's, you know, I've got my gloves. I got a basket. I got a couple of books. Got a couple fields I'm going to go look around in. I'm waiting for my dandelions to come up because I know they're always here. I mean, and some of these I have seen. There's a couple along the creek because I know I took pictures of them last year. And this one, I'm going to go look for the elderberry, because that way I don't have to buy the elderberry. I can just go harvest it and dry it and then do it up. And this one's the dandelion. It tells you what it's good for. And that one's more for urinary health, believe it or not, like UTIs and if you're holding water, and also for liver health. You can do a dandelion burdock tincture for your liver. Got one here that's dandelion mocha. So you can make like a mocha concoction. But I know it helps you like really get rid of water. So you got to watch that. And the biggest thing to watch out for that is if you're allergic to milky latex, a rash could develop. Chickweed, you know, that grows out in the yard. A lot of these things grow in the yard. Let me see some of these other ones. Burdock. Just regular old thyme. If you're growing thyme plants, regular old thyme. What it's good for. And believe it or not, rosemary, make a rosemary tea. It is good for your memory. You can make a brain tonic tincture, which is ginkgo, cachicola, rosemary, peppermint, and you put it together with some liquor and let it cook for about 6 weeks. And you got something you can take, put a dropper under your tongue a couple times a day, and it will help your memory. And you can also drink rosemary lemon thyme tea. And the more you get used to drinking the herbal teas, you know, they're not so bad. I know I had some ashwagandha, and when I went on pharmaceutical stuff, I gave it to my son. He calls it the twerking pandas because he can't say ashwagandha, so he calls it the twerking pandas. And he said that has helped him so much with work. Now, for me, you want to get a foraging book that's for your location. Like they have specific books that's for like the West Coast, and specific books that are for the upper part of the U.S. And so this one that I got was for the Eastern and Central North American, which is where I'm at. And so you take this with you when you go out in the field. And, you know, you be out there walking along and all of a sudden you start seeing some of these things and you can identify them. It tells you what the leaves will look like. It'll tell you what the flower will look like. The colors of the flowers. I mean, it will tell you everything about that plant. I'm trying to see something that, you know, we see a lot. You know, you look at it and go, what is that? Like yarrow plants, okay? These things grow everywhere. Everywhere. Alongside the road. You don't want to harvest off the side of the road because of, you know, the toxic from the cars, exhaust and stuff. But, you know, you can go find some of these yarrows, clip them. Make sure you always leave some so they can redo their thing. But you clip them, you take them home, you dehydrate them, and you can use these. These are excellent for, like, if you got scrapes and open wounds and stuff. It'll stop the bleeding. It's got an anti-bacterial effect to it. So, I mean, these are things that, you know, I want to find. Let me see, what's this one? Oh, it's just a regular old daisy. A daisy. You know, and you can find the ones that look similar to things, and you're like, oh, and then it's like, it'll tell you yes or no, or what you need to do to it to make it non-toxic. Like poke salad, you know, it's toxic. You don't want to just go grab poke salad and eat it. You got to boil it like 4 or 5 times, and I mean, you got to do a bunch of stuff to it. And then you got ones that, you know, you want to know what it is and what it isn't. And so these are your tools. This book, let me see, where is it? The field guide. Put these 2 in your basket. If you walk along, you sit there and just kind of go, oh, oh, oh. So these 2 are field guides, and you always take them with you when you go foraging. That and your little snippers and your clippers and your gloves. Because if you get into a patch of stinging nettle, you're going to be sorry. Then I have this one. It was recommended to me from a friend, Sandy, who actually does, she's an herbalist, a lot higher level than me. And this is more an older book, and it's done in the Materia Medica. So it's more like it gets into the common name, the medicinal part, the description of it, the American versus wherever else it could be. So a lot of reading, a lot of research. You know, like belladonna, the common names are dwal and black cherry. The medicinal part is the leaf. And this one here, you gotta be careful with belladonna, because you can hurt someone with it if you don't actually research your stuff. So very, very, very good resource book. Then we start getting into the ones that they were like, yeah, you need to have this. Another Rosemary Gladstar book. And it's her recipes for vibrant health. And it's 175 tonics, teas, oils, salves, and tinctures. And how to put them together, and in what you put together for what you're wanting it to do. You know, if you're wanting to build your nervous system up, you know, what you put. Like a nerve formula for depression would have chamomile, borage, lemon balm, lavender, and roses in it. You know, and then you can do either make a flower essence for it, or you can make it into a tincture and take it and put it in a tea. So there is that one. This one is who's the author? Thomas Easley and Stephen Horn. And it explains why some preparations of the same herb will obtain better results than others, and how capsules, teas, tinctures, or glycerites of the same plant having not exactly the same effect unless you do it in a select way that you do every time. So, you know, you find one, it tells you. This one's almost like a pharmacy book. It's like, gives you the dosage formulations, how to take it, you know, whether to do it as a tea or a tincture or a capsule or a salve, or, you know, how exactly, you know, you need to do it. Like this one for ashwagandha. And you can either drink a tea, 4 to 8 ounces, 3 times a day. Or you can take a dried root tincture with a 1 to 5, 70% alcohol and do 1 to 10 mils, which is about a whole dropper full 3 times a day. So it's a lot of learning. It is a lot of learning. So you get your formulas from it, how to do formulas and dosing. So you learn how to build specific things for, use 5 or 6 different plants to build a formulation. This one is another one that was definitely a buy. It was like, get this book. And this one is the Herbal Medicine Maker's Handbook. And the thing was, the biggest thing they were talking about is don't get it on Kindle or something like that. Make sure you have a book, because if something happens and you can't charge phones or you can't get to the internet, you have your book. So, and this one is, like how to decant, how to siphon, a poultice for what to do for earaches, tonics, body baths. Huh, that's interesting. How to make stuff to work on, forming a mold, for making tubes and stuff. How to make even like rose cream for your face. So now I know you can use, it's got some solid building. You can use olive oil, which is what I started with. But then I, for further reading, have read to use avocado oil because it won't go bad on you as quickly as the olive oil will. And this one is a clinical guide to blending herbs. And so this one is like, say, it'll teach you what herbs to put together. And it's all about formulating. It's almost like a pharmacy book. It's weird. But it's like, you want this, well, then you need to put this and this and this and this and this and this together. And, how to, it's even got the math formulas in it. Figure out, it's like being in school. The weight, age, and years, and I haven't seen them formulas since school. How to write out your labels. And then, like for individual patients, like you got someone with bronchitis, what to put together, how much of each thing, and make a specific thing for them. Which is why I did all my tinctures separate. So that way I will have tinctures of every herb, and then I can just say, oh, okay. Like this one, it is for anxiety. And you take, let me see. Like one of them here is valerian root, passion flower, ashwagandha, and St. John's wort. That would be for depression. And you put a 1 to 2, which means it'd be 1 ounce of your herb, and 2 ounces, so 1 to 2. So, and yeah, 1 to 2. So you just take and you make your things that way, and then you would put 20 mils in your bottle. 20 mils of the valerian, 20 mils of passion flower, 35 mils of ashwagandha, 25 of St. John's wort, which would be 100 mils. And then you would just take 5 mils with water 3 times a day. Another one for anxiety would be echinacea, eyebright, golden seal, skullcap. And that one's 5 mils with water 3 times a day, for 4 meals. So, it actually literally, like I'm going to build this one here, and it's for allergic rhinitis. And after know what, if you know what you're allergic to, I mean, really bad, is to start controlling the symptoms. Is the if it's a food, don't eat it. It's like, I know. Okay, like I started doing stinging nettle about 4 weeks out. Here I found that it's 6 weeks out before the season. And you would do like stinging nettle, and there's quite a few others. But it's like all about how to build your formulations and what you want to do them. And it's got the different herbs, what they're for, what they do. How to do your formulating, your math. That was all the monographs, which is the in-depth stuff about each herb. And these are all your different formulations that you can make. So it's very in-depth. I mean, it goes into all this good stuff. Very science heavy. Let me see. This book here, my daughter loved. This one is the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. She loved this book. And it's by, I don't think it's by any one specific person. But she loved it because she was like, I could get into this book. It shows you the pictures. And then it tells you where they come from. It gets into the history. I mean, you could sit down and just read this book. And highlight what you're in, what you agree with, what you really want to stand out. So, ow. Certain different teas you can build. But yes, this book is a wonderful book. Very good resource book. I would highly recommend this one. If you're getting into herbalism, I would highly recommend this one. This one. And this one for your basics. And then these over here are basically to build your recipes. But this one kind of blew my mind because the first thing I found in here, let me see if we can get to it, was this. It breaks them down into their chemical breakdowns. It was like chemistry. I was just like, oh my God, chemistry revisited. I mean, it literally gives you the chemical breakdown of the herbs and each herb. See? Very, very heavy. Okay, and then it gets into, once you get past all the different herbs and their chains and, yeah. Once you get past all the herbal stuff, and it actually has little questionnaires at the end, like a real school book, guys. Then you get into the pharmacology of the herbs. And you get into if it's an enzyme, if it's a nervine, if it's a adaptogen, if it's, this, and where it's going to work, and why it's going to work, and it gives you, like when you're building tinctures, why alcohol, and what strength of alcohol, and why it works on what plants, and yeah. So hey, that's a this, you got to use this strength of alcohol. And what you're trying to pull out of it. If you're trying to get water soluble, you need more water in your alcohol. If you're trying to get a fully, like what is that one? Marshmallow root. You want to get the mucilage to help get all the mucus up. Well, that one you just kind of put in cold water in a tea bag, let it sit for, 24 hours, and just let it do its thing. Because you don't want to have it hot, because it destroys the mucilage part, and you're wanting to get the cold, it's a water infusion. Let me see. And then it's got the anti-inflammation and anti-inflammatory agents, and The phospholipids. I mean, it's just, this one is, I mean, I thought I was back in school. Goes into where they work, how they work. And then you get into, tells you how to build an oxymel, and like I was just talking, the mucilages, and yeah. Then we got the units of measurement. Okay, and then we start going into systems. It will literally take you system by system through your body and say this herb works on this system, and this herb works on this system. So it'll go through your digestive system. It goes through your liver, and tells you, like, for cirrhosis, you know, these are helpful, and for gallbladder attacks, these are helpful, and the cardiovascular system. I mean, it goes into everything. A respiratory system, you know, if you got acute bronchitis or just a cough, or if you got a cold coming on, you know. I'm finding the elderberry syrup great, because I've had it where I've started to feel like I was going to catch a cold, and I've took a couple of days of that, and then it's gone. And let me see. The common cold, things you can do to help, you know, get through it a little better. Hay fever. Sinusitis. I mean, tonsillitis. I mean, it goes into every part of your body and tells you, you know, what will work, where, why, how. And then at the end, let me see, because there's like 3 or 4 parts of this book that, okay, that's like arthritis, immune system, we're still in the system, endocrine system. I mean, it goes into a carminative. It tells you how to, you know, the affinities for which system, and whether it's a collagen, and I'm having to learn all those different, emulsant, and all those good things. I got flashcards for that. So I do have flashcards that actually tell you about that and gives you the definition of what each of those are for. And then it tells you all around it what herbs are in that area. Let me see. I think we're just into, yeah. Now we're into the herbs. And you know, corn silk, like when you're pulling the silk off your corn, you can actually save it and make stuff, you know, to help you cough stuff up. It's a soothing diuretic. It's a big renal system thing. No drug reactions. So it tells you the drug reactions, tells you how to make the tinctures for it. I mean, very informative. Different pharmacy terms, descriptions. I mean, I swear it was like being back in college. It really was. But highly recommend. Yes, it was an expensive book. It was like $60. I mean, this was like an actual, honest to goodness college course book. It was $60. So if you know, when you can save up the money for it, these 3 here were the most expensive. I don't know if it tells on this one how much it is. You know, because a lot of times they'll tell on them. Let's see if it's up underneath this sticker. Sticker. No, it doesn't. But it was, I think, up in the $50 range. these are my 3 highest books. This one, the medical herbalism, and this one were the highest. And this one was $40 book. I'm surprised this one don't say. There we go. So that is my herbal resources in a nutshell. All of these, we'll put that one on top because that was the best one of that group. And all of these, and then these 2 are my herbal resources. So they are on Amazon. I will see if I can find links for them and put them in the description in case you're interested. And here you go. I think it was, I can't even remember who asked, but they just asked. I think it's colors something. But here is all of my resource material. You don't have to take a course, but when you take the course, you actually do get a certificate to show that you have knowledge in this stuff. So if I eventually want to do this and sell some of it, I have the certification that shows that I'm an intermediate herbalist. But with the books, and then searching on YouTube, you can find a couple of people you can watch that are very, very educational and informative. And so you can learn how to do it without the paper behind it. Me, I've got stuff all over my kitchen counters. I've got all my oils over here behind me, getting up. Let me see. This one is a yarrow oil. And it's starting, the oil is turning green. And you just shake it every couple of days, a couple times a day. You put it back in the dark. This one is calendula flowers. And they plumped up really well. This one is chamomile, and they're starting to plump up to where they're totally always covered. And you just shake them, get them back in there, let it pull it out. The one that you can really tell is when I put this oil in this one, it was, regular clear oil. These are cayenne pepper seeds. And when you put this and you put it, a strainer with a coffee filter in it, pour it in it, let it strain for like overnight, keep the oil, and you wouldn't need but probably 10 mils of this oil inside a salve and use it, and it would be like a deep heating rub. You can also put it in isopropyl alcohol and put a little bit in it, and it'd be like a liniment, where it just kind of blends in like a liniment. So that's kind of my herby, I'm making real vanilla extract. So you let this sit for like 8 to 12 weeks and it'll be extract. And then you strain it out and then just recover them. So the most expensive part of doing all that was liquor. Because you need 100 proof vodka. That would give you 50% alcohol. And you need 190 proof, which is about as high as you can get in a liquor store, which is close to almost, it'd be like 95%. And so if you're working, just 5%, you can deal with it. But you use like the 95% for your roots and barks and things that are like seeds to pull, because it can pull from those. And then the ones like your leaves and your flowers, you don't want to put that on there because it's just too much. So you use your 100 proof. You can even buy 80 proof and just do 40% alcohol. So it's just kind of knowing what you got. Put it over there. People at the liquor store look at you funny when you walk out there with like 3 half-gallon bottles, of each. But I put up a lot of tinctures, guys. I put up like 19 or 20 of them. I did one today for goldenrod. So yeah, I got another 3 weeks and then I'll start the straining process. But I hope this was informative for everybody, and I will try to find the links and drop them in the description. And then I will go into my thing and post a link for this video onto the girl who asked for the information. I can't remember. It was something colorist, something. I don't know. I can't remember. My brain is like, whoop, I need to make me some rosemary teas. But here you guys go. Very informative. Great books. A lot of information. Take your time, because it is a lot of information. Tons of it. It is lots of info to try to take in. So there we go. And I hope this helps. And I will be doing more herby things. I might even throw in a picture of my herb cabinet with this one so you can see what I've got over there. My daughter took a picture. She was like, I can't believe you got this. So here y'all go. I hope this helps. I hope you subscribe. If you enjoy this, subscribe, because I'm throwing in the herby stuff along with my diamond painting stuff, because you know, like, I'm a hot and heavy diamond painting too. So love y'all. Hit like on your way out, and I will see you later.